munya adaje ehwe no nim say program we no aye nhyira bebre ama ye mu hina na then again no say na de bia ye kan no it's not just about just listening, but it's about listening and putting the obenya bia no so no into practice. Maybe no all the information yes share no it's not something that is applicable to you. However, no you can still have something in there. Maybe you can also do some adjustment to be in your life. Or maybe even if it's not applicable to you, you have a friend, a family member, somebody else that applicable to which me share information. Once again, we want to welcome you to Era One Radio. No, every Monday beyond 6 o'clock. I mean, we meet here for our financial program. We'll set a time aside just to be with us, and so we can also share the knowledge that we've been blessed with us. It's a teamwork, so it's something that we do together to help each other. And so we thank God. No say on one kasano waboye ababesi emrem say for some time now we've been talking about investment, and maybe the question will be say why investment? Why are we talking so much about it? But one thing I say ye took kwan and ya backroom her say na as say ye make income no sometimes your focus no cannot be just on the 9 to 5 just working and expecting say things will go okay. What about if tomorrow if you lose your job, then what happens? Into setting aside something small every week, every bi-weekly, even monthly, or even quarterly, it helps for raining days when unfortunately what do I fall on? The little savings now can help to pick you up, to sustain you till finding another juma. And we are stressing this so much. Why? Because we care so much about our African community, our African friends, because we have the tendency of always, you get the money now, you spend it. And come tomorrow, when misfortune happens, then there is a problem. Am I spending so much time and digging into this? Sanya, I can't so many times. There are so many ways you bet me find investment. You care about your stocks. You care about bonds. You care about mutual funds. Near there. Into another day, what we intend to do is to focus on two vehicles and so number one CDs, certificate of deposit. Another one and so money market. But you do money market now, there are so many information because sometimes we get confused between money market account and money market fund. There are two different things. And I say when who the difference now I'm here we make a mistake. Since Dr. Awuah, once again, we want to welcome you again to your friend saying Era One Radio, and we thank you, sir. Every week be an unya daje na a program. It's been a blessing, and I've really enjoyed our time together doing this program. Ninti, if you can spend like few minutes just to recap on some of the things that we've spoken about or discussed in the then we can get into the topic for today.
Sure. As we mentioned, we spent the past several weeks talking about investments and different types of investments and where you can invest money and what kind of investor you should be, or figure out what kind of investor you are before you start investing. Whether you're an aggressive investor, whether you're conservative, whether you're a moderate. These are all important things for you to kind of figure out before you begin to start investing. A lot of times when we invest money, right? Obviously, when we invest money, the idea is for us to grow our money so that we can earn a return on our investment, right? And whenever you invest money, hoping to get a return on your investment, there's an assumption of risk there that you have to be willing to accept. And if you're not willing to accept that, maybe that investment may not be ideal for you, right? People invest in different things. right? And everybody have their own thing that they enjoy investing in. And a lot of times when people invest in certain things, they have expertise in those areas, so they feel very confident in those areas to invest, and they are willing to accept or assume whatever risk it comes with because they have an understanding of that risk. And that's why we always talk about making sure that you fully understand an investment vehicle before you jump or dive in and start investing, right? Investing is a long-term process. You don't rush into it, right? So, and the whole idea of investing is, yes, you have some play money, you can invest in small things to kind of learn how to do it, but the money that you're going to retire on and use to be able to supplement your retirement income, you want to make sure that you properly and then very smartly invest it so that that money can last you a very long time when you stop working for money. Right now, today we're going to transition and switch our focus into talking about other forms of quote unquote investing. They're not really investing, but just a way to be able to kind of just protect your money, right? Because whenever you invest in money, the question you're asking is, are you willing to accept some level of risk? Yes or no, right? Some people say, you know what, I want guaranteed protection of my principal. I don't want to see my money go down, right? Accounts like money markets and CD accounts can be ideal for certain people or can be ideal for what you're trying to achieve, right? Maybe you have a bunch of money, you just want to sit down for, let's just say, a year or two, and you want to go buy a house. Maybe putting that money in a regular bank account or CD account might be ideal because you know the guarantee that money is going to be there within that 1 year period of time, right? There's a whole other question when we talk about inflation, right? Which is something that can affect these two kind of vehicles. So, CD account, obviously, certificate of deposit, right? It's pretty much an account where you put money in, and the bank says, you know what, we're going to guarantee that we're going to pay you this particular interest rate. And oftentimes, the interest rate in those accounts are, very small, right? It's the bank says, you know what, we can keep your money here for 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, however long you need it, 5 years, and in that 5 years period of time, you come back, your money will be here plus whatever interest that we guarantee they will pay you, right? Some people like and love that kind of safety, right? These are safety accounts. Hey, I know I don't want to take any risk with my money. I know guarantee when I come back, that money is going to be there for me to be able to take, right? But I also have to accept that because I'm getting this guarantee, the rate of return is going to be very, very small, right? Oftentimes, maybe you might get around 2%, right? Once again, if you're getting 2%, what is the rate of inflation, right? You have the security that the money will not go down, right, because of market fluctuations. But now you are facing inflation because inflation, right, is over 3%, right? So like now, if you're earning 1.5, 1%, 2%, but inflation is 3%, you might not have risk that your money is going down, but the buying power of your money will be less a year or 2 years down the line because why? Your money is your return on your investment or your saving is not outpacing inflation. So there's always going to be some level of risk, right? When you invest or when you save money, all right? And you have to understand the nuances of how these risks are kind of like put onto you, and you have to determine that, hey, does this saving or investment, is it worth the risk that I'm taking? Or does it suit what I'm trying to achieve? Maybe my short-term plan or my long-term plan. Is this ideal for me? Right? And that's something you have to sit down, analyze, and get advice on and make a decision on what you feel is best, right? So, like I said, they're not bad vehicles or bad place to put your money, but you just have to understand that you are now trading that safety, right, for lowered purchasing power when you put money in a CD account. They call it certificate of deposit. I personally call it certificate of depreciation. because that's what's happening to your money, right? You are losing purchasing power when the money is in a CD account. But hey, you sleep great at night because why? You have the guaranteed protection that money is not going to go down because of or due to market fluctuation, right? Then you have the money market. That's another place where people can put their money, right? And sometimes, most times, money markets will pay you more than the money just sitting in the regular savings account, right? Because think about it, the money sitting in a regular savings account giving you 0.05% or less, 0.025, 0.01%, right? But in the money market, they are giving you interest rate based on short-term money market interest, right? So in that scenario, you're gonna be able to earn little more than what the savings account might be giving you. So maybe you have a bunch of money that, hey, you know what, I'm gonna need this money in about 3 years, but I don't feel comfortable putting it in the market. And you know what? I don't want to have to wait 6 months or have any contract for 6 months or 1 year before I pull my money out. I put the money in the money market and I can take it whenever I want. But I'm still earning a little bit more interest than what I have in my regular savings account. So you can see how these vehicles work, and you can see how they can play a role in different parts of your financial journey, right? And you just have to know that they're available, how they work, so you can apply them in the right way or the right order that suits what you need or suits your needs, right? Some people may not be a fan of them because why? To them, they are aggressive investors, and those two vehicles does not suit them, right? But some are very conservative and just safety. Those two accounts may be very ideal for those kind of people, and we'll get more into depth, as we go. So, brother Sim, I think that's what I want to kind of add to that.
Yeah, thank you, Doc. I'm sorry. What time now? You see, a certificate of appreciation. Yeah, it's yeah. So yeah, and the reason we are sharing this information, also in the past, now we are kind about okay, what are some of the investment vehicles? I mean, yeah, well, they are low risk. Yeah, well, they are high risk. High risk, and now you have to go through all this wedding no stocks, bonds, and whereas maybe we have some people more high risk, they can your friend is going into stocks, we have some other people also maybe they don't have that heart to go there. So what do I do? On Sentina, am I yes, way now with us at the end of the day, you as an individual need to sit down and decide what is best for me.
That's right.
Abusuafo yɛsan aka yɛn nyinaa yɛn ho baabi a wohwɛ afiri bi a sɛ yɛ Facebook, say YouTube, and I say online, yɛma wakɔ aba for joining us. But more or less, yɛpɛ sɛ any questions be a will be and you bring the question up. Wobɛtumi afrɛ 240-280-2633 240-280-2633. And now say what question be you can test it through WhatsApp of 510-931-0946 510-931-0946. The more questions now, the more interactive and the more educative my program into one question be you can either call or WhatsApp your question now the answer. And Sanya Dr. Awuah I think so one of the reasons into I devoted today into the CDs and the money markets local financial institution, you hear the term CDs or certificate of deposit, they are the same thing. And answer obeti money market ubisa who said nasa numa we kran dying because one or call one of the things that we all know a savings account and our checking account. Into say seed into now you're going to see you can see what is actually a CD account or certificate of deposit account. In short, a CD or certificate of deposit, it's an agreement work as an individual. Me save you in fact, either credit union, a bigger bank, which is Bank of America or a Chase Bank, me save you. It's an agreement between work and that institution. They say, menya $1,000 be. Nasasika for now, I don't have any need for it. And a bank and they say, okay, if you don't have any need for it, then we can come into an agreement. That agreement can be 3 months, it can be 6 months, it can be 9 months, it can be 12 months, and it can be 60 months, which is 5 years. Into bank and they say, bring that money to us. will hold on to that money. No. However, no, one as an individual, no, you don't have access to that money, no, for the term now which you see here, no. So what do I mean by that? Sameka said, okay, I'll go with the 3 months now. Not bank and say, okay, we'll put a hold on that money, no, for 3 months, no, and now say for 6 months, and now for 12 months or for 5 years, you know, you wouldn't have access to that money, no. But within that time, so you have interest rate. But the interest rate now, it's not anything great. Sanya Dr. Waka, you know. It's easy, it's funny, but it's easy to use the term depreciation because instead of earning more, no, we see it's like it's not working for you. At the we are right now, no crown, you'll be so lucky to have an interest rate of even 0.50 or even a quarter on a CDA. It's barely nothing. And it's an agreement that was settled with them. They hold on to the money. The money is there for you. And I am mouse are low interest rate, you know. Until the maturity date, you know, you don't have access to the funds. Now, if you had a question, Baba said, so what about within the 3 months and also within the 6 months, you know, assembly back now, if I need the money now, then what do I do? Yes, they will give back your money, but depending on the institution, they will tell you, sir, whatever interest you've earned, maybe like 3 months now, they are not going to give you that interest rate. So you lose that interest rate. And however, your initial principal now the two one there unsabeka usikani na back. Having said that, you know, and yet all institutions, yes, sir. Some institution will also even tell you, sir, if you take the money out, you know, earlier, they will even penalize you and you lose a percentage of what principal now with the two on. It all depends on the financial institution. The question now, Dr. What you baby sir right now, sir, what are some of the advantages to doing a CD versus say stocks? What are some of the advantages to doing a CD? And why would an individual choose to do a CD knowing that the rating is so low instead of doing maybe stocks or bonds?
I mean, and I think that's a really, really good question, right? That bears discussing. You asked, why would somebody choose a CD account compared to choosing the stock, like stock market, right? And it's very simple, right? The answer is very simple, and that is safety, right? Because in the stock market, your money is fluctuating based on what the market is doing. Some days it's up, some days it's down, right? You know, some days it's up by a lot, some days it's down by a lot, right? Some people don't have the heart or the courage or the stomach to be able to go along the roller coaster, up and down, up and down. And a lot of that comes from the lack of understanding of how the market works. So for those people, they say, you know what, hey, I don't have time for this. I can't deal with this. I just want to put my money in a CD account where I know that at any time point where I go, that money is going to be there. Whether the market is up, the market is down, guaranteed my principal is going to be there. And having that, I can sleep better at night. So what you are doing is you are trading what? Growth for protection, right? Because it's hard to grow money without taking some level of calculated risk, right? So for those people who want safety, who are very conservative, they can put their money in a CD account with the understanding that they are not going to earn nothing when you account for inflation. And don't forget, their money going to a CD account, not only are you getting a low rate to no rate, you are also facing, number one, inflation.
Yeah. Number
two, that money, whatever little penny you earn on it, will also be taxed. Right? So this is why I call it certificate of depreciation. Because either way you slice and dice it, that money is loose. So you see the money there. right? Because you put 10K there, you go 5 years, the 10K is there. But what you don't realize is that the buying power of that money has now decreased significantly over those period of time, right? But you don't care because all you care for is, hey, my 10K is still there when I go back, right? Like I said, once you understand that and you are willing to accept that, then it's a fine and okay investment for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what your type of investor DNA matches. So you stick with that, right? Now, we all know if you take the same 10,000 you put in the stock market, or let's just say you take the same 10,000, you go put into one company. If that company goes out of business, your money is now gone,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's no level of safety there, right? CD account is FDIC insured,
Mm-hmm.
right? The stock market, you don't have that kind of assurance.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's really, really boils down to safety, right? And like I said, depend on what you're trying to do. For example, if your goal is to buy a house within 1 year, it does not make sense to go put that money in the stock market.
Correct.
If your goal is to buy a house within 2 years, it doesn't make much sense to put that money in the stock market because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, right? So money that you need within a short period of time, it's never advisable to put that money in the stock market because you and now don't control what the market is going to do. You can diversify and try to limit the risk, but you cannot eliminate the risk, right? But in a CD account, although that you are losing buying power, guarantee if you go back in 2 years, that 10K you put there is there. You can take it, put it as a down payment, and buy the house that you want to buy, right? So it's really about the objective and what you're trying to achieve, right? But a CD account, no matter how much safety you want, does not make sense if you're going to keep the money there for 10 years. Right? Because in that 10 years, no matter how crazy or scary the stock market is, in that 10 years, the odds are you're going to make money on your money in that 10 years. Right? But in a CD account, once again, you are losing buying power, right? So, like I said, it's really what each person is trying to achieve, right? There's no perfect shoe that fits everybody. It's all about what the individual person is trying to achieve. If it's a short-term investment, fine. But if it's a long-term investment, it may not make a lot of sense, right? So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, Doug, it's a great. What breaking it down, ma. And one thing you said, which I really like, I think, sir, throughout your investment presentation, no, you share with your viewers, and they said you need to have a plan, and you need to set some goals. Like Dr. Awuah said, right now, if my plan for that 10,000 or even 1,000 is to use that money as a deposit on maybe a car, my goal is I want to buy this car in 2 years. Or right now, me and my family decided that we want to buy a house. So we are saving towards that house. Like he rightly said, just think about it and say, does it really make sense, sir? Sir, me savings in kakra me me to stocks my goal is to buy a house with that money. What about me to stock na say something goes bad, I lose all that, Into na man numero, you say spend some time na share some of these various things. As an individual, depending on the goal you have in mind, if it's for retirement, great. There are other things that which me earn more money. But if it's something you're doing it for a short time, to be able to know, say, 2 years along the line, Sikano is still there. Then maybe CD will be the best way for you. Another also Dr. Awuah mentioned about safety for CDA, it gives you that peace of mind for you to sleep, even though because of inflation and depreciation will set you near there, but it still gives you that peace of mind knowing, sir, during the maturity dates, Misika no will still be there for me. Another your friend is advantage and so the flexibility. Sir, as you go into seeding, they give you several options. Either you do 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, or 5 years. So they give you that different flexibility, and depending on wankasa goals you can decide to say, okay, let me do 3 months, or let me do 6 months, or let me do your friend is a 9 months, or 12 months, or 5 years, depending on Miankasa May, And Dr. Awuah also said something very important. I think it's worth repeating again. And it said, any amount be a would better mfanse or your savings account, it is FDIC insured. What does that mean? It means just in case anything should happen, the bank goes bankrupt, they fold, that money is insured. So you are guaranteed to get your money back. Into local banks, the banks is FDIC insured, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation for insure. So ebi who bank but who credit union. Credit union is also insured by NCUA. Nti NCUA funds no I insure usika bia wo de betu seed mu no anase your savings account no. Nti that also gives you that peace of mind and say because my money is insured no. Sɛ kɔba sɛ the bank no efeli anase the credit union ne feli kra, I am guaranteed to have my money back through the FDIC insurance, and NASA NCUA for will give my money back. Unlike stocks and NASA bonds, those are not insured. That's why the risk high. You're doing this something before you do all this, and we want you to look at the risk involved and also the safety, need the flexibility, And another advantage will be say, okay, do I put my money in a CD or do I put it in just a regular savings account? Many a times you'll find out say putting your money in a CD will earn you a little better interest than the savings account. In fact, Nansana may share your friends a bank rate. Me call my websites and I share like the best savings account out there. I think so far the best that I found are monoma the best interest rates in a 0.05%. It's not even a 0.5 or a 0.05. So you think about it.
Tiny.
You think about it and say, okay, 0.05. So even with the $100,000 to cry the court now my 10 years to cry, it is barely nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But if you have a goal, now will be when then it makes sense maybe to go that route, for a short period of time. Na dog. Now why say be based on your needs or your goals near there okay. I think so what be so bad. Are there any disadvantages to having CDs at all?
Oh, yeah, boss. I mean, there are many disadvantages, right? I mean, like I said, no matter, when it comes to any kind of investment or saving, right, there is always going to be positives and there's always going to be negative. There is no perfect investment. Obviously, the only investment that's guaranteed anything is investment in yourself, right? But when you put in money to invest in anything else outside of yourself, there's always going to be some pros and cons, right? Like I said, once again, the key thing is to figure out your objective. What are you trying to achieve? If your goal is short term, 1 to 2 years, I need this money to go put out for a house, to go buy a car, to go buy this. you don't really care about earning a lot of interest on that money, right? Because that's not your goal. Your goal is to have some protection, but earn a little bit more than what you get in a savings account. So in that scenario, it's fine. You already go into it knowing that I'm not going to earn a lot of interest or very, very little interest. Now, the downside here, once again, is number one, as we just mentioned, that interest is next to nothing, right? But it's better than what you will get in a regular savings account. Like you mentioned, 0.05. If you do 0.05 and you actually look at the rule of compound interest, right, or the rule of money, 0.05, that means your money is going to double every 1,000 years. If you put $100,000 in a bank, it's going to take you over 1,000 years for that money to become 200,000. From 100,000 to 200,000, it's going to take you over 1,000 years. Now, just think about that. The banks understand this, right? And what do you think that 100,000 that you put there? What do you think the bank is doing with that money? They're lending it back
investing
to you.
That money for
They are lending it. Yeah, they are lending it back to you on mortgages, credit cards, charging you 5%, 30% on credit cards, and 5% on mortgages, right? So the bank is always designed to make more money off what you put there, right? Your key is, you know what? I understand that they're going to make money, but how or what is my objective of what I'm trying to do with this money? If your objective is, hey, I want to grow this money long term and have some money for my future, then you and I will both agree that money market or CD account can never be the option that you go with, because it will not help you to be able to achieve your goals, right? So always depend on what you're trying to accomplish is going to dictate or determine what investment vehicle you choose to use. Right. So a CD in the right season could be a great thing because you only need it for a short period of time. But it can also be the wrong thing in the right in the right season, right? Because once again, the interest, because the idea of investing, once again, is to grow your money. And to grow your money, there has to be some level of risk you're going to take. In a CD account, you're not taking any risk, right? So it's not for growth, it's for safety, right? And that's what it is. That's why those vehicles exist. You can talk all day about how they depreciate, blah, 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 but they're there and they serve a purpose, right? So that's really what I want to kind of like, to me, investment can be very simple once you just determine what your objective is. What am I trying to achieve? Number two, what is my time horizon? When do I need my assets? When do I need my money? Is it 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Once you have those things answered, they are going to dictate how or what vehicle you choose to use. If you have a 20-year horizon or even a 5-year horizon, does it make sense to put that money in a CD account? It don't. But if you have a few months to a year to 2 years, it makes absolute sense, right? You know, so that's really the thing is, once you wrap your mind around that, it just makes it very easy to understand, you know, and choose what makes sense for you, right? So
I think so, Doug, you perfectly said that, and I just at the end of it, it's about planning, and it's about your goal, what you have in life, you know, what determine which and to add to what you said, and I think so. One of the disadvantages also for CD, you know, is limited liquidity.
Sure.
And by that, you know, on say you can establish the CD will be, you know, it's you have 3 months, 6 months, and all that. Within that time frame, in bank for the whole that I said, restricted. The money is not liquid to you within that time frame. Okay, if you want your money, you can get your money back, but you lose interest via YN. Is this something? It doesn't even make sense, you know, for them even to say that, because YN are there, no. But because it said you couldn't keep your side of the bargain, you know, penalize you by what? Refusing to give the interest rates now, interest now YN up to that point. You see, this are some of the one of the disadvantages as a dog can know. And dog the can so I can about inflation. Or who said because it says Sikano, you are not earning so much on it, you know. A better stage be your honor. right now, the inflation rate, and look at it compared to the interest rate, the inflation rate is higher than the interest rate. For a long time, you'll be losing your purchasing power. Oh, saa sika 1,000 or 10,000 now the koto now no etumi to maybe in the say right now your 10,000 is able to buy a BMW in a year. If inflation rate answer in a year that 10,000 and now to BMW in a year maybe you wouldn't be able to buy a BMW, but you'll be able to buy what? Maybe a Ford Escort. So you lose that purchasing power as time goes on. Can say, yes, if you want safety, this is great for you. But say, something to earn more. Now, which me BT inflation, they are then be aggressive and go into other investment. I think, sir, you can't more about CD. If you don't know what CD is, just to summarize, CD is an agreement between you and your financial institution. Say, we'll hold on to your money for a certain period of time, and after that, you can get your money back. Or if you decide to say you don't, you need your money right away. Yes, you can have your money back, but you lose some of the interest rates. Now we transition into money market, but before we do that, we want to let our viewers also know and say, if you have any questions, bring it up. You can call 240-280-2633, 240-280-2633. And now, sir, we wait to the question through WhatsApp 510-931-0946. 510-931-0946. Inti Sefina wa Johnny and so I am our core about to era one radio. There was a when ya na uni a program way. Inti a sika seminar and ya can want them. If you have any questions, bring it up. That's why we are here to help ye nano to be a inti dog inti ya can't Yahoo CD. And into your money market account now. What is money market account?
So I mean, it's just like the word says, right? Money market account. It's just like going to a bank and putting money in an account, right? It's just that once again, you're gonna earn a little bit more than what you get in a regular savings account, right? It's just another way for the banks to get your money, right? But they also know that we all of us out here chasing interest rate. So what? They're going to have a stated interest rate, right? And from bank to bank, that may differ, right? And oftentimes, what I've seen is that credit unions might have higher money market account rates than regular banks, right? So, like I said, the rate are very minimal, but once again, they are higher than what you would get in a regular savings account. That account also serves a purpose, right? Whenever you have money in the bank, you are going to have FDIC insured. And that is the biggest thing between having the money in the bank or having that money in an investment company. For example, a lot of times people always get it confused with money market account or money market fund. They sound similar, but they are different things, right? In the money market account, you have a stated interest. Hey, we're going to give you 1%. We're going to give you 0.5%. It's kind of like a CD, but without that contract, right? But in a money market fund, that money that you are putting there is going to be invested. Although money market is very, very conservative and very, very safe. In the money market fund, the same safety applies, but it's not guaranteed that safety is always going to be there, because there have been times in history where, because see, those investment companies, right, their number one goal is to keep the share, right, of those money market funds at $1 per share. That is their main goal, right? That's the safety, right? But there have been few times where it has dipped below $1 per share. At that point, if you bought it at $1 per share, now it's at 0.95 or 0.90. You've now lost or your money have not gone down, right? But in a money market account, you will not see that, right? So in a money market fund may earn you more than a money market account, because those funds in the money market fund are invested in short-term vehicles like treasury bills and treasury treasury bills, right? Because those are short-term and they are very, very safe, and they pay decent return on those, right? So that is the major key here, right? Don't get it confused between a money market account and the money market fund, because in a money market account, once again, it's a bank, right? So you have FDIC insured, right? So it's insured up to a certain amount, and oftentimes it's 250,000. In the fund, you don't have such protection. Why? Because the money is going to be invested, although safe and conservative, it's still invested. And once again, nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring. The U.S. economy, the U.S. government, treasury bills are very, very stable and strong, but you just don't know, right? So once again, they are both money market. They are both very safe investments, but the money market account, the money is not invested in any particular treasury bill, but in the money market fund, that money is invested in those treasury bills, those short-term tools, to be able to try to generate some level of interest as safely as possible, compared to having a stated guaranteed interest, like they say 0.5% in a money market account. We'll give you 0.5%. So you know what to expect.
Right.
In a money market fund, you know that it can fluctuate based on what the economy is doing, or based on what the money market tools are earning, right? So I mean, that's some of the major differences when it comes to those two. And I think people need to be very, very clear on how those two things are working, right? And I think those kind of funds, like I said, although they may earn you small interest, they exist for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? We always preach people need to have 3 to 6 months of emergency savings. Where do you think that 3 to 6 months can go? You can put that money in those kind of money market accounts, right? Or even in a 3-month or 6-month CD. That way you don't touch it because it's locked in, right? So that's why those things exist. Instead of having it sitting in your savings account where you have easy access, you go every day, you go take out, you spend, you go take out, you spend. In those accounts, you can have your emergency savings, but then your day-to-day spending, you can have your checking or savings account. So you are staggering your money, or you're putting your money in different tools for different purposes, right? So that's how you plan. You do financial planning, right? You figure out what your objectives are, and you kind of divvy up your money and put them in different buckets, and each bucket serves a different purpose, right? So without having to go too much into detail, I think that's kind of really what I want to kind of add to that, right? And obviously you can open, you go to a bank, they can give you a money market account easy. All banks offer it. Like I said, each bank, the rate that each bank give may be different, right? Depending on the size of the bank, the kind of volume the bank is doing, the kind of how many clients they have, their assets, their net worth. I mean, so many different factors go into what they can decide to give you, right? But if you want to open a money market fund, you can maybe go to a brokerage account, Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade, those kind of things, to open up a money market fund. Whenever you hear fund, always associate that with actual investing. So that's what I want to kind of. I hope that helps.
Yeah, Doug. I mean, great. I'm saying, watch more. I mean, into Juma, and I'm glad how we're breaking it down for to know the difference between because many a times what's a money market account, then what's a money market fund. Most of us we use these two
Interchangeably,
terms
right?
interchangeably without even knowing what the difference. And I like how Osan Emma say the account is FDIC insured
Sure. Yeah.
or NCUA insured. If you doing this account in the credit union, and also when you come into the bank and I've FDIC. So, but the fund, any there, everything for can anytime you hear money market fund na it's not insured.
Yeah.
It's a woko institution when I say woko BSA account na make sure say based on your goal and what you intend to use that money for.
Yep.
No the right for you.
Yeah.
The question about say, okay, then what is the difference between even CD and money market if they are all working pretty much the same? We don't earn like barely nothing on it. So
yeah.
What is the difference?
And that's once again, that's a very good question, right? What's the difference between a CD account, money market fund, if they earn low rates? Once again, you always have to go back to why. What is the purpose of that saving or investment?
Yeah.
Once you can answer that question, it dictates everything. Because if it's a short term, you're not focusing on interest gaining in the short term.
Correct.
You're focusing on safety.
Safety, yeah.
So when you focus on safety, you are trading growth for that safety. And you need to invest a little more aggressively to get more growth. Right? So if you're not willing to aggress a little more aggressively, then you cannot expect that money to grow. Right? Then the major difference here is that in a CD account, as you beautifully mentioned earlier, in a CD account, it's a contract between you and the bank. Whether it's 3 month CD, 6 month CD, 1 year CD, 2 year CD, whatever. With the understanding that, hey, if I put 6 month CD, I need to hold this money in this account for 6 months, or else some banks may even penalize you.
Yeah.
Or like you said, take away your interest, right? But in a money market account, if you put 10K in that account, tomorrow you can go and take out the entire 10K. There is no penalty or contract associated with that.
And if I patch will be the text message we have and I'm say Mobuano. Yeah. Well, see me just say insurance na more can say CDO say money market insurance one. And no a bank na insurance na that or no or no client na or coupon or yes insurance no. And at what point and or no as individual and as a person or be default on this when you problem with insurance.
Okay, that's a really great question. At least Yahoo said, "Obi, pay attention to some of these things." So the Obisa question, just to simply answer the question, the insurance, a bank and a insurance, amount, and wo as an individual, na wo insurance, bank and a insurance because. Nkɔfo bebree te sɛ deɛ wowɔ atɔ car na wa insure wo car sɛ obi de bɛbɔ mu a wobɛyɛ dan insurance fo betumi a repair wo car no saa na bank no so ahu sɛ nkɔfo bebree deɛ ɔmo sika ɛba chances sɛ tomorrow something might go wrong na yɛfa ne sɛn maybe the bank no will fold. So if they fold na mo a mode mo sika abɛto wɔ nyinaa no how do we pay all these people? Into bank for through the federal government, into moment say any private insurance. This is Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC. Insure sikano into no BBBA BCBA no. The government will come in and make sure say mo amode musika batu ohina mo ayeda. Monya musika no.
Up to a limit of
250,000. Yes. Now, I'm saying anytime na you bet mu pen who say because that 250,000 a year can remember is tied to your social security number. No, and see a lot of people make mistakes. I have seen people they have like $1 million, and to their mind, and okay, I have 1 million. Let me spread it out to maybe a CD, a savings account, a money market, and all the hoping say, sir, each account is covered. No, it is per social security number.
That's right. That's
right. You can have $1 million in the bank, If the bank folds now, they are looking at your social security number and pay you accordingly. They are not paying you per the different types of account. The question, Dr. said, the second part of the question is, we are afraid.
Now we'll be say at what point or no bit my default to insurance and just say, when you benefit you, but I'm saying,
yeah, there's no way so no to me a default. So long as you seek an insurance, no, and you're on the ATM, no, a bank in the ATM and man on the side is there's no risk.
Yeah.
The only risk is for seek an better bank for in amount, you don't have to, you don't pay any premium. No, I can say a default to a premium, as someone in a NGM, no.
Yeah.
We need any responsibility on that side. The bank has the full responsibility.
Another follow-up question, so I say, was specific banks be insurance no cover, and I say bank be obey this program be either CD or money market and over qualify for this insurance.
All banks be United States of America have or more a year under the federal government one of the requirements that the federal government requires all banks to do that. Unless you say what costs mantra microfinance for now, so we are moving there. Every bank, every credit union is insured by either FDIC or NCUA. All banks, to answer the question, all banks, all credit unions are fully insured. Doug, my name is
you did a wonderful job explaining it, breaking it down perfectly. And I think that the thing that you said that was so powerful and so important to recognize is the fact that you can have 10 million in the account in different places, right? But you are FDIC insured for up to that particular limit for one or for each Social Security number. So be very, very, very mindful of that, But that was a great point. But I think you did a great job explaining it.
Yeah, and and to add, the best way, people will say, because a lot of Esika for now Wosika now imagine say you have like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Our Bank of America, you only insured up to maybe a friend is 250. So what do I do? In fact, what a lot of the institutions are doing right now, especially the credit unions, they have something we call Essex insurance. When you go to, for example, I know a lot of credit unions, the cap is 250, but almost what the Essex insurance abeka sa 250 no into an additional 500,000 abeka ho. Into each individual biana what's our credit union, you are insured up to 750,000. So depending on sa institution, the cap, like Dr. said, is 250, but they can also apply for excess insurance. And so cover. But to get around it, the recommendation is maybe you need to spread your sick across different banks. Not just one bank opening up different accounts, but different banks. So
that's right.
Who Bank of America, who Chase, who M&T, who PNC, no, what spread this account, because each of them are a separate financial institution, and each of them are a social security now they're calling they cover you up to that end. That's a way say like 1 million or 2 you can also go around it too.
It's the safest way.
And I see you mentioned about with early withdrawals. No, what are the penalties for the early withdrawals? What kind of penalty about now?
For the CD
penalties are early with on a CD, What is it?
I mean, for example, a few days ago, one of my clients had some money in a CD account, right? And obviously, he didn't really know his investment options. So we sat down, we went over different things. I explained everything to him, and he realized that, for what he was trying to achieve, a CD is not the best thing, right? He had over almost $100,000 in that CD account, right? So, and he was worried that he would go over there to take the money out, they're going to charge them a lot, you know. But I told him, just go there and I asked him, first of all, how long have you had the money sitting there, and how long was the contract that you signed? So if you sign, let's just say a 1-year contract, right? And let's say you are in the 9th month or the 10th month of that contract, because you are so close to the contract ending, and if you decide to break it, they may not penalize you as much. But let's just say maybe you sign a 1-year contract, but then maybe you are 3 months in and you decide to break it. Maybe they may have a little more severe penalty. Or some banks may have it structured in a way that every month that you have it in there, that you go through that month, let's just say maybe month 1, they charge at least 10%. Month 2 is 8. Month 3 is 6. Month 4, right? So maybe the longer you hold it, the less the penalty is. And some may not even give you any hard time. So like I said, you have to really do your research to kind of figure out what banks. You could do a search and figure out what banks give what kind of rates on their CD products, and also how does their particular CD products work. You know, what are the penalties involved if I pull money out earlier? And that's one of the downfalls of CD accounts, right? Because if you need that money before the time that you put it in there, right, you might run into some trouble. That's why it never makes a lot of sense to put all your eggs in one basket, right? You stagger the money into different accounts so that you never put yourself in a pigeonhole, you know. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's great, Doug. I'm sorry, you know, and like you said, you know, it varies from bank to bank or credit union to credit union.
Yep.
BR policies, you know, are different.
Yeah.
But the most common one around, and it's especially like we are 9 months or the 12 months, and you can lose up to 3 months of interest. Why was kind of so. But the great news, woman is say 1,000 out the quarter, you are not losing any money on that 1,000. You'll be guaranteed to have your 1,000 back. However, interest be up to that, you know, on for that 3 months, you know, and now will be losing. So, in essence, now I to say the bank cannot have your money for free, and now interest kakra no say $10, $15 near the amount or massage or madia, and they are giving back your friend say or kakra.
It's a nice system.
Yeah. So, but how I'm saying, Dr. What can you be say? Remember, say we say 1,000 now the quarter, and one they assign attending around. Yeah, they are bob for your car loan, for your mortgage. Near they are charge you 5%, 6%, and 8% interest rate. You know, and
the banks always win. You know,
exactly.
You have to know how to play the game, right? You have to know how to play the game, because that money that sits there, it's not staying there. They are using it to invest it to make more money, right? So you just need to understand what you're trying to accomplish. And like I said, once you understand your goals and your objectives, you're not phased by the likelihood. You're not getting a lot of interest, because you don't care for the interest, because it's only for a short period of time, right? So, I mean, I think the key thing is just really know what you want to accomplish, and then you know you once you figure that out, you choose which one makes sense for you and you go with it. You know, like I said, all those things exist for a reason. They all have a role to play, right? So don't look down on them. Just use them as you need them, right? So
yeah, for say yɛde adwumadeɛ no ɛba na wie no yɛda mo ase sɛ ɛna nso monya daagye na mo spend time mo amode questions no ba na nso yɛda mo ase ɛma program here very interactive and very educative and informative into Yadamwase for the questions na modeba no like debia yakano some of these things no the banks no or the credit union provide all this information bibi ohona won tiasia go to your financial institution and ask. Also, one of the things Africans we like to do, and they say, we don't ask, then we make mistakes. It is hard to reverse that mistake, versus say, you ask, you get the correct information, then you do the right thing. Yes, someone says, I wouldn't be bisa. Now, at the end of it, investment is about your level of risk. Risk maybe you have a risk level different from all risk level. The fact is so be your bonds, so that doesn't mean some inquire bonds. And now be your stocks, and doesn't mean some inquire stocks. You are minister commanded to do that. So you have your CDs, you have your money market, you have last week you can about mutual funds. Once again, Doc, your last words now,
Oh, as always, it's always a pleasure and a blessing to be able to come here and share with you all the importance of having financial education. The reason why we spend so much time is because we know the power of it and we know the importance of it. So as always, don't come in, sit down just to listen. You're wasting time. Take notes and apply the information as needed. Maybe not everything we're going to say is going to be beneficial to you, but take what we say that applies to you directly and use it, right? So, and that's the only way it's going to stick in your head, and that's the only way it's going to be able to be beneficial to you. So we're always happy to come and provide the information and help out in any way that we can help. So that's all I got.
All right. Until next week, 6 p.m. Monday.
Okay. God bless you all. Take care.
Yeah. All right.